Got quiet. Got really quiet here. So first things first, anybody that's on a laptop right now, shut it. You are gonna want to pay attention to this, okay? It's not because I'm demanding, it's because this is gonna be kick-ass, all right? So one of the coolest things, but probably one of the most nerve-wracking things is I get the honor of introducing our keynote speakers, and we've had some good ones in the past. We will not disappoint this year. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this next presenter. So the balance of power isn't just a business concept. It's rooted in the science of how our minds and bodies respond to the world around us. Our keynote speaker today has spent her career at the intersection of neuroscience, human behavior, and peak performance. She's a stress expert, a best-selling author, and one of the most dynamic voices on what it truly takes to not just survive, but thrive in today's world. Her work will invite you to look inward, to examine the thought patterns, stress responses, and mental modes that shape how you show up every single day. She'll give you practical tools to rewrite the ones that are holding you back. Please give a warm Solutionz welcome to speaker, author, doctor, and all-around kick-ass human being, Dr. Rebecca Heist.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Well, that stressed me out. That was an incredible introduction. Thank you so much for that kind intro, and thank you for having me here today. I actually want to give myself a different intro. Is that cool? That is the appropriate response, thank you. That is me. It happens to be my favorite photograph of me ever taken. And here's why. I'm 8 years old, and I know exactly who I am and what I want to be when I grow up. It's not a farmer. I loved the theater, and I wanted to find every spotlight I could and just kind of get in it. There was just one small problem. See, I grew up in a really tiny town in upstate New York, so not a whole lot of theater opportunities to be had. So I did the next best thing, and I joined my local 4-H club. I know there's a few 4-Hers out there. I'm not going to call you out, all right? But if you were in 4-H, you might know that you can enter public speaking competitions. So I did. I entered my city-wide competition, and y'all, I won. Yeah, no, hold your applause, please hold your applause. I was the only competitor. This is a small town, okay? But it meant that I got to go on to county, and at county there was actual competition. So now I'm nervous. Imagine my surprise when the judges call my name first place, and I'm like, sweet, clear trajectory straight on to professional speaking, here I come. I just have to get through states first. Now states, to an 8-year-old, this is a terrifying prospect. I mean, I am super scared. In fact, I found myself probably where you often find yourselves, because you have very stressful jobs and the world is changing really rapidly, especially in technology, right? And so a lot of us find ourselves over here. This is known as the Yerkes-Dodson curve. There will not be a quiz, don't panic, all right? But it's basically showing how you perform under high amounts of pressure. And what have you been told in the past? Okay, well, you're here, great, just get rid of your stress. Okay, 2 problems here. 1, I don't think you can just get rid of your stress. I don't think it's possible. Second problem, I don't think you should. The only people with 0 stress, by the way, are dead people. And that should not be our goal, all right? But it is great to come, kick back, hang out with other high performers, maybe relax a little bit, have some fun, but eventually we gotta go back to work. And we start to slide back in. Now listen, this isn't the only option. I'm certain of this because I study top performers like yourselves and Olympic athletes. Same thing. Really, same thing. We're about to all become Olympic athletes here today. When do Olympic athletes break world records? Thank you, not a trick question. At the Olympics, right? When the stress and the pressure is at its peak. And we all have that ability to channel that stress and use it as a competitive advantage. So as you're learning about these new AI agents, as you're learning about these new grants, these opportunities, we're going, oh God, that's a lot. And I can see some of you going, oh, okay, the wheels are spinning, and how do I have to incorporate this? And I'm doing so much already. Cool. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to use stress to become our competitive advantage in this marketplace. Cool? And before I teach you how to do that, I got to understand where we're starting from. All right? So what's the story that we tell about stress right now? In particular, I'm interested in this question. How many of us believe stress is not great for our health? Honestly. Yeah, okay, the whole room. Great, put your hands down. I can't imagine where you got that idea from. We've literally been bombarding you with this for decades. In fact, my research last year found that we stress out even more trying to get rid of our stress. This is a problematic cycle. It's particularly problematic when we look at the outcomes for people who have very high levels of stress. So, 2013, 8-year-long study. We looked at 2 factors. 1, how stressed out are you? Really high levels of stress? And the belief that stress is bad. So I'm looking at all of you right now who have very high levels of stress, and all of you are like, yep, stress is not good for me. Here's the bad news. Bad news first, okay? If you're in this category, you die. Don't panic. At a very high rate. So a 43% increase in mortality rate for people who have very high levels of stress and believe that that stress is bad for them. Now, I'm not going to leave you there. Don't panic. The good news is people who have very high levels of stress, who simply believed, who shifted their mindset around stress to say, maybe it's not good or bad, maybe it's just energy. They had the lowest mortality rates of the entire study. Lower, in fact, than people who had very little stress in their lives. That's good news, because we don't want to be dead people, right? 182,000 people over the course of 8 years died prematurely, not because they had too much stress, but because of the belief that that stress was bad for them. Now, I don't normally love to use fear as a motivator, but in this case, it works pretty well. So what I'd like to do is invite you all into my lab today. We're going to go through a little laboratory experience, and I'm going to walk you through the steps of my fear less stress formula. It starts with a tiger, all right, or the tigers, as it may be. These are all the external stressors, the things that are coming at you every day that you don't have that much control over. We're going to take all of those stressors, we're going to transfer the energy that our body delivers in our stress response, and we're going to point it along a trajectory that serves us, our families, our clients, our customers. Sound okay? Let's dive in then. We have to start with the tiger. Now, what most people don't understand about your stress response is that it's literally built for 3 minutes of screaming terror through a jungle getting chased by one of these. After which, it's over, because you're dead. That's not the world we live in anymore, though, right? We live in this world. We live in a world where we're getting bombarded by 400 billion bits of information every single second. I wish I'd made that number up. I didn't. Your brain is literally getting hit by 400 billion bits of information every single second. That's pretty overwhelming. So what does your brain do? Well, it treats every stressor, every external challenge like a real threat. Like this is a life and death situation. So you go walking into your office and you got all the pings and dings and things of the world coming at you and you're like, snake, it's a tiger, it's a bear, oh my. No, it's not. It's Kathy. You may not like Kathy, that's fine, but she's not about to kill and eat you in the next 3 minutes. And that's what we have to start separating. We have to provide a path for our brain that doesn't treat every single stressor like it is a life and death tiger situation. So, the next time your boss calls you in on it, or you get a phone call from your kid's school, right? Your first thought is not, getting an award today, right? It's probably, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What'd I do? What'd they do? We're panicking. Now, it's one thing for me to describe this to you. It's a whole nother thing for you to experience it. So I'd like for you to step into my lab. I need a fearless volunteer. Who's it going to be? Oh, come on, these are top performers. In sales. Thank you. What's your name?
John David.
John David. Give John David a hand. Yep. John David, I need you to stand away from me. If you would stand kind of in the middle there, just behind that table. Thank you, John David. Y'all have ping pong balls at your table? Now's the time to grab those ping pong balls. John David, I can see your excitement. I respect this already, because you're already anticipating what's coming at you. So, if you have a white ping pong ball in your hand right now, give me a little whoop. Okay, that's a significant number of white ping pong balls. It is significantly fewer than 400 billion bits, though. All right, so John Paul. David. John David. Sorry. John David. John David, here's, by the way, my tiger is names. I get names wrong all the time. It stresses me out. John David, all right. Your job is to not let any of those white ping pong balls touch you, because those white ping pong balls represent the tigers, the scary things that our brain believes are going to kill us. That cold call, that rejection, that failure, all right? Don't let any of those touch you. You got it? John David, you're easy, confident, right? Cool. There's one more piece of information here. There are also some golden ping pong balls. If you have a golden ping pong ball right now, give me a little whoop. There's a couple. You saw one immediately. Love your enthusiasm. All right? I need you to catch all of those. You got this, John David? This is going to be easy. Now, all of them are going to come at you at once. So on the count of 3, the instructions for the rest of you are just to bombard John David with your ping pong balls. Okay? You ready? You may need to dodge, dive, duck, dodge. I don't think there are any wrenches out there. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Did you catch one? Okay, give him a hand. Give him a hand. I have to ask, did you have a strategy going in there?
Listen for the whoop.
Listen for the whoop, which you did. Great. And then?
Look at that one.
All right, we're done here. That's the whole talk. That's the whole talk. There's a couple things that happened. One, he did not dodge, dive, duck, dodge. He didn't try to avoid any of the white ping. Did you get hit by a few? Are you still alive?
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. This is the first thing, right? If it's not a tiger, if it's not actually going to kill us, we can stand and get hit. And the stress is not going to actually kill us. The second thing, focusing on the gold ping pong ball, right? Focusing on what you can control. I can catch that. Great. There's one other thing. Actually, I think John David won before any of the ping pong balls came to him. Anybody know why? There it is. He put himself in the arena. There was no way he had an opportunity unless he volunteered. How do we show up recognizing, yeah, we're going to get hit? Even if he tried to dodge, dive, duck, even if he was running away from the stress, it's going to find you. You can procrastinate all day long. It's going to find you. So how do we instead volunteer, step up, stand out, and go, let's go. Focus in. All right. So the tigers out there, we typically don't get to control. Let's talk about tigers in the real world, like actual tigers. In the jungle tigers. Do you know how often they fail at hunting? 80% of the time. If this sounds like your rejection rate, congratulations. But no tiger walks around immediately afterwards going, God, I'm such a terrible tiger. What are my friends gonna think? They don't. Immediately after they fail, you know what they do? They take a nap. The weird thing about humans, we are the only species on the planet that creates stress for ourselves with our own thoughts. So, the tigers that we can actually control and contain and train exist here. How do we begin to train the tigers that we have control over? Well, who gets coffee in the mornings? Coffee, everybody. Fantastic. What's your name? Lauren. Lauren? Okay, Lauren, here is your job. Tomorrow, where are you from?
Outside Philadelphia.
Outside of Philadelphia. Fantastic. When you go home to Philadelphia, I want you to go to one of your favorite coffee shops. I want you to go in, I want you to order a nice, fancy cup of coffee just the way you like it. Just before you pay, Lauren, I want you to lean into your barista. I want you to look her dead in the eye. And I want you to say, sup? Can I get 20% off today? And say nothing else. Now, Lauren, if you're anything like me, and I know you guys are sales professionals, so this shouldn't be too challenging, but Lauren, I bet you're going to have a little stress response. Your heart's going to pound, your mouth is going to dry up, you're going to start to sweat. Why? What's your barista going to say? No? No? She's going to reject you? You're going to die out there, Lauren. You're not going to make it. That is literally what your brain is telling you, right? Your brain is like, dude, this is a life and death situation. Rejection, you're gonna die. No, you're not. You're gonna pay your $10.99 or whatever you pay for a cup of coffee anymore, right? And you're gonna walk out the door, nothing bad happens. And this is where the magic begins, because your brain looks to your body and goes, interesting, I had a stress response and I didn't die today. And it layers this down. And then tomorrow, hi, you, sir. David? Dave. Dave's gonna find the busiest street corner he can find here in Phoenix. And he's just going to start singing from that street corner. Did I pick the right person? Dave, if you're anything like me, this is going to cause some consternation. Your heart is going to pound, right? People are gonna be pulling their kids to the opposite side of the sidewalk, like, who's this guy? Nothing bad is actually going to happen. But your body is going to react as if. And then your brain will look to your body and go, interesting, stress response, didn't die today, layers this down. What I'm asking you to do here in these safe forms of discomfort is called stress inoculation. This is not exposure therapy. This is training our brain in every different situation that this doesn't mean life and death. It's literally how we train Navy SEALs. We bring them into the lab, we put them through these exact same exercises. Because whether or not you're asking for a discount on a cup of coffee, you're singing on a street corner, or you're rappelling out of the helicopter, you have a singular stress response. So as sales leaders, this is probably one of the most important pieces of training that you can have. So we're gonna begin this training right away. Cool? I need y'all to stand up. This is Navy SEAL training. You may wanna stretch. Nobody takes me seriously, but I've pulled a hammy doing this once, so, you know. You guys signed the waiver, right? No? Oh, you'll be all right. Okay, here's what's about to happen. You're about to have a 15-second dance party. Now, see, some of you are excited. Most of you are going, push-ups, though. Push-ups are better. Can we just do push-ups? The answer is no, you cannot. There are 2 rules to this dance party. Rule number 1, there's no music. Yeah, come on. That would be way too comfortable, all right? Rule number 2, and gentlemen, I am specifically looking at you for this. This is no longer where you live. Okay? No. I need to see your biggest, baddest, like boldest, in laying out dance moves for 15 seconds. Give me everything you got. All right? 15 seconds. Are you ready? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Move. Okay, stop! Look around the room. What do you see? Laughter, great. What else? Smiles, fantastic. Nobody died, very important. Love that. What else? Okay, first of all, laughter and smiles. What the hell? This was supposed to be uncomfortable. Why are you laughing and smiling? Because everybody else did it. So now, just you, sir. I'm joking, don't worry. I wouldn't do that. That's mean, I'm not mean. Look, no, but you nailed it, right? Because everybody did it together. And here's the thing. When we go through discomfort, but we do it together, you're this much closer to the people around you. Because you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was your move. I thought I was the only one that did that. There's a reason for this. We talk about cortisol all the time, right? Major stress hormone. What's the second major stress hormone? It's oxytocin, the togetherness hormone, the love hormone, the cuddle hormone, the we got this if we go through it together hormone. When you show up in discomfort, leaning on each other, you slay those tigers together. Great work, y'all. You can sit down. Give yourselves a hand. It's not typically what we're told to do, is it? We're told we gotta go meditate. Yeah, get a massage, get a good night's sleep. Look, y'all, all of those things are fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things. Those are good things to do. But do you know how many of those things actually work to mitigate stress? None of them. In fact, we looked at 90 different workplace interventions, and trust me, I was really cheering for massage. None of them actually help to mitigate stress, with the exception of one thing. Are you ready? I'm gonna come back to that comment. Retirement, okay, wait, no, I'm gonna do it right now. Retirement is actually one of the most dangerous things that you can do from a stress perspective. Because when you eliminate all the stress that you think is so bad, you die. I'm not joking. And part of it is because of this. The number one thing that helps to mitigate stress is service to others. And when we retire, we often lose that. We lose that purpose, that driver. When we serve others, we're not just serving ourselves. Nope. When we serve others, we're not just serving them, we're serving ourselves. So I had an opportunity to live this firsthand a couple years ago. I had this really cool opportunity to keynote in Hawaii. And I flew on the airplane like this, because I'm an idiot. And that's what arrived with me. So I have a keynote the next morning at 7 a.m., and it's with this like super executive team that is not nearly as cool as you all. They're like in three-piece suits on the golf course in Hawaii, and I'm going, this is not gonna cut it. I'm in trouble. And I'm pacing at the front desk of the hotel, right? Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And the hotelier notices me. He's like, Dr. Heiss, we got you covered. Don't worry, I've already booked you a car. It's going to take you downtown to the shops. You'll be able to find something. Immediately, I'm going, oh, this is an 11 out of 5-star experience, right? Thank you so much. And then I got to the shops. Now, I don't know how many of you have tried to find a suit of the non-bathing variety in Hawaii, but it was not going well. This was the third shop that I went to. It was known as Beaches Resort Wear. Highly recommend if you're ever on the Big Island. This woman was so kind, but she's like, yeah, honey, you're not gonna find what you need here. I've got some prom dresses in the back. I thought about it. She's like, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take my car. It's a brand new BMW convertible. You're gonna love it. You're gonna put the top down. You're gonna drive 40 miles over to my friend's house. She's about your size and she's real stylish. I'm gonna give her a call right now and let her know you're on your way. I was like, my name's Rebecca. I legitimately did not know this woman's name. And she said, well, I'll tell you my name when you bring my car back. I got in that car. I drove 40 miles to her friend's house. Her friend had 3 beautiful outfits laid out for me, and she'd cooked me dinner because that woman had called in advance and said, you might want to feed her. She looks hungry. I was. I had a wonderful dinner. I had a beautiful outfit. I get back in the car. I drive the 40 miles back. I get to her, and I'm like, okay, what's your name? She said, oh, I'm Lonnie. I said, Lonnie, so nice to meet you. Rebecca, why would you do this for me? She said, oh, well, that's just the Hawaiian. I was like, no, Lonnie, why would you do this for me? And she said, to tell you the truth, Rebecca, I've been really stressed out. See, my daughter just moved from the islands back to the continental US. She doesn't know anybody there. And I'm so worried about her. And my hope is that if she found herself in a situation like this, someone might do for her something similar to what I did for you today. So I'm a bucket of tears, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you. So I will never be able to thank you. I get back in my car. I go back to the hotel. The hotelier is there waiting for me. He's like, how'd it go? I tell him this whole story. He's now bawling, and I'm like, I should lose my luggage all the time. This is incredible. Because 10 minutes later, this beautiful array of chocolates and a 2-page handwritten note from this hotelier shows up, detailing how stressed out he has been because he just moved his whole family from the continental US to the islands. And he wasn't sure that he made the right choice. And my story helped him to recognize that the people are going to take care of him and his family. Y'all, my story is your story, and your story is my story. We may not be going through the exact same stressor at the exact same time, but I promise you, we're all going through it. We're going through things. Each and every one of us is carrying a backpack of problems, whether or not we show it. And when somebody can see us and see some small thing that they can help with, they're not just helping you, they're helping themselves too. How can we show up in one another's lives, helping each other to help ourselves? After all, we know that these aren't actual tigers. And when we recognize that these aren't tigers, we can begin to transform the energy of them. Now, I want to pause here because I think it's really important. When I say it's not a tiger, I'm not trying to be Pollyanna-ish. People get horrible diagnoses every day, life-threatening things. I still don't call them tigers. Here's why. If you're not dead in the next 3 minutes, you still have an opportunity to use the stress response. People say, well, that's bad stress. No, it's not. See, there's stressors, the things out there, those tigers, those can be good or bad. But the stress response, how your body responds to it, it's one and the same, whether it's good or bad. So this is the opportunity. How we transfer, how we use that energy is the real opportunity. So let's talk about somebody's deepest fear. I guarantee you somebody in the room, this is their deepest fear of me going, here you go, presentation's yours. Because public speaking is terrifying. It's almost everybody's number one fear. So if I hand you this remote right now, what is the advice that you give to yourself in this moment? Well, if you're like the 92% of the people that we polled, it probably sounds something like this. Take some deep breaths. Try to calm down. Okay, that's terrible advice. It's terrible advice for multiple reasons, y'all. One, it's mean. Do you remember the last time you were stressed out about something and you went to somebody that you trusted and you're like, told them the whole story, and they looked at you and they were like, calm down. Oh my God, are you kidding me? What did you want to do to that person? Punch him in the teeth is an appropriate response to that. And that's the advice that we're giving to ourselves. Like, that's cruel. That's just not nice. The second reason is this. It's physiologically impossible. You cannot just calm down. I don't know about you, the last time I spoke with my adrenal glands and I was like, okay guys, do me a favor, please don't release adrenaline right now. They don't listen. You don't control how heightened you get, but you do have control over something else. Now, before I teach you that, I want you to take your own advice. So I'm about to stress you all out. Now, normally what I would do is I'd bring you into my lab and I'd hook you up to these little foot shockers. And I'd just shock you at random. It's super fun. I mean, for me, probably not for y'all, but it's fun for me. Unfortunately, TSA does not allow me to travel with these things, so I had to come up with a new way to stress you all out. And it turns out, even more stressful than being shocked at random by a stranger is doing math out loud with your peers. So welcome to the lab. We're about to do some math together. Now here's how this is going to work. I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Everyone will shout out the first answer. This is going to go rapidly. Do not wait for the group. This is the competitive group. I expect you to go as fast as you possibly can, all right? The questions don't get much more challenging than this. There are 6 in total. At the end of the 6 problem set, there's going to be a question that pops up at the bottom of the screen. And I'm going to shout that question at you rather aggressively. Wherever you are, I don't care if you're still stuck on number 1, wherever you are, I want you to stop and answer the question that I'm shouting at you out loud. Everybody understands the instructions? Okay, well, take a deep breath and calm down. See how well that works? All right, calm down. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. 6. Go, 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 go. Quick, name, got a tool, 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 got a tool. Okay, straight up. How many of you said red hammer? Straight up. Keep your hands up. Did you say red hammer? Red or blue, hands up. Red or blue as your color. I don't care what tool you had. Red or blue as your color. Keep your hands up. Add a hand if you said wrench, hammer, or screwdriver. Put your hands up. What'd you have? Yeah. There's always one. Anybody have a purple saw? A blue saw. All right, I got you with blue. There's usually one who has a yellow drill, because DeWalt, I mean, that's just a thing. And then there's usually one who says purple saw, and that's the one I'm really nervous about. But everyone else, you guys, this is a really top performing team, and under stress, you gave me 2 colors and 3 tools. Y'all are sitting right there with notebooks, you've got pens, you've got computers in front of you, you've got all, you're a technology company. I mean, like, why are you giving me 2 tools? Because when the brain is under stress, it reverts to the stories we've always known. What was the first tool you probably ever used? Hammer? Fisher-Price one of those red and blue kinds? Look, under stress, our brain goes to those old stories that serve us, and we're like, I don't know, it's a hammer, just hit it, it'll be fine, it'll work. It'll work. Just keep hitting it. Reboot. How do we begin to step back and say, wait a second, those tools aren't going to work anymore? How do we move forward? How do we get curious? Because curiosity is the first step in this. When we feel that stress response, our first job is to go, cool, thank you for that, and get curious with it. Here's why. Curiosity and fear cannot coexist. I'm going to say that again because it is so important. Curiosity and fear cannot coexist. Here's why. For 200,000 plus years, nobody ever had a tiger charging them and went, I wonder how fast it's coming. They died. They were eliminated from the population. As a result, your brain did not evolve the capacity to hold curiosity and fear together. Which means when you feel that stress response, when you feel that angst and that fear, and you get curious with it, you kick yourself out of that fear response, even momentarily. So now's the time that I have to admit to you something truly embarrassing. Try not to be too impressed, but you are standing here today with a world expert in crows. You think I'm joking? This is an unfortunate truth. I had a dedicated phone line, y'all, where the public would call in, they'd ask me questions about crows. I'll take your questions later. All right, this thing rang off the hook. But one of my favorite phone calls came in from a woman who simply asked me point blank, yes, can a crow be a spiritual guide? And I was like, you called a science lab. Like, what are you doing, lady? So I was like, okay, just be a little curious, Beck. Like, what's the worst thing? So I said to her, well, tell me more about that. And she said, well, I was cross-country skiing, and I fell, and I broke my leg, compound fracture. It's really bad. I don't think I can even make it home. But suddenly, a crow appears, and it guides me. It stays with me as I drag myself the whole way home. Well, I'm thinking what you guys are thinking. I'm like, yeah, that crow's waiting for you to die. What? Spirit guide. So what do I say to this woman? Can a crow be a spirit guide? Yeah. I don't know, but I believe that story is the only reason that she dragged herself home. Yes. And it may have been waiting for you to die so it could eat your eyeballs first. Now, I hope I said it more delicately than that, but I'm not sure I did. The reality is, because I stepped fully into her truth first with a yes and added on my truth, we ended up having an incredible conversation. Yes, and is used in improv a lot, right? It allows the story to continue. So my ask of you is when you feel that stress response, you yes and it. Yes, okay, here it is, got it. This might mean that I'm stressed, that I'm anxious, that I'm scared. And what's another story that I can tell? What's the story where this is guiding me? How do we begin to invite the tiger in for tea? All right? We want to sit with it. We're not trying to avoid stress. We're not trying to push it away. That leads to terrible outcomes. Instead, we're like, yes, thank you. Come on in. Welcome. And it may mean all of these things, right? Our heart is pounding and we're stressed and we're panicked and, oh my gosh, what do we do? But if we can get curious in the moment as we're having tea with our tiger and simply ask one question, what are you here to help me to do? This shifts the power. What are you here to help me to do? Because the truth is, your stress response is a feature. It's not a bug. It's an absolute feature. It is literally there to help you to perform. It pumps your blood faster so you can think clearer. It directs your attention. So, yes, it might mean this. But it also might mean that you're excited, you're elated, you're fired up, you're energized, you're jammed. Because we release identical hormones whether we're excited or whether we're in fear. The unfortunate truth is we try and control this roller coaster, right? The ups and downs. You don't get to control that. You are suckered in, right? You're just going for that ride. What you do get to control is what that means. Are you going to have an adventure or are you going to have an ordeal? Exact same hormones, different interpretation. It's called emotional reappraisal. And it turns out to be one of the most powerful things you can do to allow your stress response to work for you rather than against you. So we're going to practice this. How are we going to practice this? Well, we're going to put some stakes on the table. We're going to make you sing in front of your colleagues. I know. See that pit of your stomach that's like, oh, come on, I don't want to. Now, when we originally did this was a Harvard experiment. And when we originally did this, we picked one guy. Hey, you. Yep. Hello. You're looking right at me. Yeah, don't look behind you. Don't look behind you. It's you. It's you. Hi. Yes, you. Yes. Wave at me so I know that you know. No, behind you. Yeah, him. Yeah, him. Ah, there we go. You cannot avoid stress. I will keep coming at you. Originally in the experiment, we took, what's your name? Doug. We took Doug, we strapped him to a heart monitor, we put his heart up on screen so everybody else could see, and we made Doug sing in front of all of you. That's very high stakes, and it's really, really mean, so I'm not going to do that to you, all right? What I am going to do that is I'm going to make everybody do this. There's two conditions. In the first condition, we're going to practice staying calm. Now, if you've been paying attention, this doesn't work well, but we're going to try it anyway so you get a feel for it. Now, I know everybody knows this song. If you don't, the lyrics are there for you, okay? We're only going to do a little bit, and you will have some music to support you. So I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown. In this condition, we're going to try and stay calm. So when I give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown, here's what I want you to do. We're going to take a nice deep breath and try to calm down. And then I'll hit play, and you sing out loud. Cool? Okay. Everybody's really excited about this, I can tell. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Only at a sales kickoff. I mean, bravo. Yeah, it deserves a golf clap. I mean, that was okay. That was okay. All right, so we're going to do this one more time. This time, the second condition is to get excited. Now, this is really important because in the Harvard experiment, do you believe that the person who said that they were excited was actually excited to do this? No. And I know you're not excited to do this. Nobody woke up this morning and was like, man, I really hope the keynote speaker makes us sing out loud. Like, this is not fun. Nobody's excited. Here's the kicker. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're lying to yourself. Truly, it doesn't. Because your brain looks to your body, okay? And if you position your body as if you're excited, so I'm gonna give you another 3, 2, 1 countdown. You're going to position your body like, I'm excited, and you're going to say out loud, I'm excited. You're gonna lie to yourself. It's cool, okay? You're gonna lie to yourself, I'm excited, and then we're gonna do this again. When we did this at Harvard, the people that said they were excited, their anxiety didn't decrease. They weren't any more calm. They had the same amount of nerves and stress, the same stakes, but they objectively performed better. Objectively. More on pitch, more in tune, more with the rhythm. They remembered the lyrics better. It was a better performance. So all I'm asking you to do is lie. Just to yourselves. All right? So 3, 2, 1, smile, say you're excited, and then we'll go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm excited. Let's go. Oh yeah, keep going. That's fine. It was objectively better. It was objectively better. Now, here's the thing. I know it feels awkward because you're like, but I'm lying and this isn't really fun. It doesn't matter. I paid undergraduates to listen to me with a pencil in their mouth like this. In fact, I wish I could pay all of you to put a pencil in your mouth like this right now. Here's why. When you put a pencil, what does it force? Yeah, it's a grimace. No undergraduate at 8 a.m. is like, I'm so excited to be here. Okay? But it turns out that I am hilarious if you have a pencil in your mouth. Because what happens is they're lying to themselves, right? That smile releases happy hormones and they become happier. See, we think we smile because we're happy. We're actually happy because we're smiling. We position ourselves as if this is an adventure and we're like, yay! If I showed up on stage today and I was like, cool, hey guys, my name's Rebecca, I'm really excited to be here. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right now because that's giving me anxiety just like playing that role. And part of that is because it's coming from you. So humans are very bizarre. We're emotionally contagious. We catch feelings. One of my favorite demos to do is to bring 2 violins that are tuned to one another. And if you put one violin in that corner of the room and another one in that corner of the room, and you pluck the string on one violin, the other one will play the identical note. That's human behavior in a nutshell. When you show up with your teams, with your clients, and you're like, yeah, this is great, I'm so excited. Yeah, it's absolutely a little bit stressful. We got this. This is an exciting adventure to go on. They start to reflect that excitement back to you. Even if you're not feeling it, when they start to reflect that back to you, guess what? You start to feel it a little bit. Totally different energy. You go on an adventure together. So, if it's not a tiger, you have an opportunity to get excited and act as if there's a real adventure to be had. And that trickles down through your teams, through your clients, through your whole life. Now we've got all of our butterflies in alignment. Cool. Where do we want to point them? Well, I'm never going to ask you to do anything that I won't do myself. So I do a lot of these discomfort exercises. I try and keep myself in check. And a few years ago, I had an opportunity to be a race car driver. Heads up, I'm not a race car driver. My ex was. And I happened to book the same track on the same day that he was practicing. And I'm like, cool. How hard can it be? He does it. I'm gonna put you in the car with me. So you're in the car with me, my ex is in front of me, and the instructor is in front of him. And I'm like, I got this, right? This is not that hard. You go slow into the curve, you accelerate out. I'm representing my entire gender out there on the track that day, so I'm gonna go ahead and show these boys what's up, right? I'm going into this next curve and I'm gonna blow by them. I'm just gonna go nice and slow in, I'm gonna hit the apex, and then drive right by. Here we go. Slow, hit the apex, see you boys, let's go! It gets muted here because there's some choice words that come out of my mouth. It wasn't my favorite outcome. I got out of that car, I'm standing by the fence, and I'm crying. You know the angry tears, the shame ones, the hot tears? I'm so mad, and I'm like, this is great, I'm having a good time, I'm excited, this is good. And I'm watching the instructor come up, and I'm like, you cannot talk to me right now. I'm in my 3 minutes of screaming terror. I deserve to have 3 minutes. And of course, he starts talking to me. He's like, oh, Beck, you know, there's 2 types of drivers out there. There's drivers like your ex, and he's pretty good. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to hear this, right? Immediately, I do not want to hear this because I'm in those 3 minutes of screaming terror. And when you're in that stress response, in it, not using it, in it, your brain goes binary. Oh, he's good, therefore I must be. Oh, he's winning, therefore I must be. So the instructor continues. He's like, yeah, he's pretty good. But he's never going to be great. Tell me everything. I was here for it. He says he's never going to be great until he does the thing that you just did about 6,000 more times. Till he pushes that car harder and faster than he knows it can go, he won't find his not yet moment. And I was like, 2 types of drivers. It's not the good kind, so. And the instructor looks at me, he goes, no. Drivers like you usually quit. And I was like, accurate. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Because here's the truth. When your brain feels any amount of uncertainty, the number one thing it wants is control. And the only way that you get to control any outcome is by not stepping into the arena, by not volunteering, by not showing up, by not raising your hand, by not making that effort to try. And that's exactly where I wanted to be. I was like, I'm not getting back in that car, no way. Here's the problem. It's really easy to measure all of the costs of our actions. We might screw up, we might spin out, we might fail. That new AI agent, oh my God, that looks really scary. It's going to take all of our jobs. Maybe. We forget to measure the costs of our inaction. What if we don't? What if we don't stand up, raise our hand, volunteer, try that new agent? What if we don't? I guarantee you the cost on that is much higher. There's a reason why regrets fester. It's because we don't have data. We're always left wondering, what if? So I was like, fine. And I get back in the car, and immediately I spin out again. Great, that's data. I now know that I'm hitting the accelerator too fast. Fantastic, let's go again. So I do, again and again and again, and I think I spun out a total of 7 times that day. Had a lot of data. The important lesson here is this. Did I beat my ex that day? I love your vote of confidence. But no. No, I of course no. He's an actual race car driver. I'm not. And that's the problem, is typically we measure goals like this. You hit it or you don't. And it can feel like a really big tiger. And you're like, I'm not even gonna aim for that. There's no way. I can't become like AI proficient expert person in the next. I can't take on a data center. I can't open. What? No way. Yeah, of course not. But you can do this. You can show up and take some small action and go, oh, let's try that. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, let's go over here. Oh, this way. This is what stress response, using your stress response should look like. You're trying, you're challenging. You're moving out of the threat mode and into challenge mode, where you're willing to take an action. And that action's trajectory is always going to be into the stressor. Not around it, not avoiding it, directly into it. Doesn't mean you won't have to pivot. So I'm just gonna eliminate the barriers to you doing this right now, because I promise you, you're not gonna do it. Here's why. All right, we're gonna play a game to demonstrate this. Straight down the middle. This side, team 1. Okay, I'm worried about you. This side, team 2. We're gonna see how this goes. Your goal is up here. You know how to do this. What's the word? Fantastic. That would have gone to team 1. Come on, team 2. I need you to really be in this. All right, so your words will be on either side of the screen. So team 1, your words will be on this side. Team 2, your words will be on this side. I will listen as closely as I can and award points. We're gonna go quick. Are y'all ready? Here we go. Point for team 1. Very good. Point for team. That's 2-0. Come on, team 2. Where you at? 3-0. Come on, team 2. 4-0. Team 2. Where are you? Pistachio. Pistachio? I respect the effort. Okay. All right. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop because it's 5-0. The P is silent. This must be a sales team because y'all are selling me on this. All right. Here's the thing. Team 1, before you get really high and mighty, team 2, you did not have solvable words. No kidding. Now, hold up. The first 4 words were not solvable, but then we got to the last one. Okay, now you get it. Look, you both had the same word on the last one, but what had happened? In about 15 to 30 seconds, this entire half of the room fell into learned helplessness. Truly. You were like, I'm not playing this game, this is dumb. Meanwhile, team 1 is over here like, we are winners. All right, so like very easily, we set up 2 different conditions. Very easily. Think about how many stories you carry. That was a 15-second. What are the other stories? Like either she's cheating, fair, that's a fair story, or like, wow, I really suck at this, right? How many other stories are you carrying that may not be true? There's a reason that we can take baby elephants and tie them to trees, because they will pull and pull and pull, and they'll learn they don't have any agency. And then you can take a full-grown elephant. These guys can uproot the biggest of trees, and you can tie them to a stick, and they will not budge. What sticks are you tied to right now? What stories are holding you back, stopping you from taking that action, stopping you from trying, making a new effort? Because here's the thing, learned helplessness is not even learned. It's the default setting of our brain, when our brain believes it doesn't have agency. But here's the thing, the environment is changing all the time. What story worked seconds ago may not work the next second. And the story that you believe to be true, I'm really bad at this, turns out 60 seconds later, you might be really great. There's an antidote to learned helplessness. It's practice actions of hope. When you take an action in hope that you might make a difference, in hope that you're going to have a positive impact, in hope that you might learn something, you're pulling that stick along and changing the stories. This is why this work is so important to me, because I don't know about you, a few of you in this room have probably experienced this, some of you are, it's coming. When I hit 40, that was a moment, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, what even is life? What am I doing? I gotta have some meaning and purpose, and how do we get there? So I'm a super nerd, and I was like, well, I'll just study it. I'll figure out what brings life meaning and purpose. And it turns out the #1 correlate to a meaningful, purposeful life is stress. Past stressful events, current state of stress, even future worry and anxiety. Now listen, as a stress physiologist, I was like, I don't know, we might have gotten this one wrong. Like, I think I could have a pretty meaningful life sipping Mai Tais in Hawaii. This is the retirement piece, right? This is the retirement piece. It turns out, not the case. I didn't believe my own research. I did a follow-up question, and I'm gonna ask you all the same follow-up question that I asked my research participants. I want you to think about a project or an accomplishment that you're most proud of. Got it? Now go back in time to when you were in the middle of that project. What was your stress level? Scale of 0 to 100. You're the people I had to eliminate from the data because somebody was just like 1,000. I had to eliminate so many people who were like 5,842%. I'll share the data with you. About 4% of people are liars. I have no explanation for these people. I think they need bigger goals in life. They're like, yeah, when I was doing my most important work, I was not stressed at all. Okay, sure. 23% of people fell where we kind of expected them to fall based on this Yerkes-Dodson curve. We're like, oh yeah, you're stressed, but you're in the flow. Which means the vast majority of us, including 11% of people, y'all, that's wild in statistics. That's 11% of people said something over 100%. The vast majority of us, we're stressed out of our gourds when we're doing our most meaningful, purposeful work. That's incredible. You're already springboarding. You're already using that stress to perform. The only problem is you're recognizing it in retrospect. You're looking back and going, yeah, that was good. How can we, in the moment from here on out, recognize that stress is a barometer for how much we care? And it's providing energy for us to help us perform at our peak. Because if it's not a tiger, we have an opportunity to get excited, act as if there's an adventure to be had, and then take action directly into the roar of that tiger. All right. I lost track of time. I've been up here probably 55 minutes or so. Somebody can tell me. So I got to wrap this up. But I left you on a cliffhanger. I don't know if y'all remember. Thank you. We're going to States. I can't not finish this story. We are going to States. It's a big deal, and I'm nervous. So I'm practicing and I'm practicing and I'm practicing. The data States finally rolls around. What happens? I did not win. I did not lose. The day of the competition, I never showed up. I played sick because it simply felt safer. So my final question for each of you here today is this. Where are you playing sick in your own life right now? In that relationship, in that next big client, in that next small move that you need to make? Where are you holding back because you're like, that little voice of fear is up there going, psst, maybe not give it your all, then you'll at least have an excuse. Let me remind you that that is a cage. And you think that you are caging yourself to protect you from the tigers out there. But all you're doing is caging yourself with the most dangerous animal on the planet, your own thoughts, your own fears. Stop playing small, stop playing sick, and start showing up all in. My wish for each of you is that you all live tremendously stressful lives. And I mean that as a blessing. Because it also means that you will live your most audacious, purposeful, meaningful lives. Recognizing that stress isn't happening to you, it is truly happening for you. And when we fear it just a little bit less, we make room for so much more. Thank you all so much for your time and your attention. I appreciate you. Thanks, y'all. I do. I have as much time as you want.
So we have mics on either side. Does anybody have any questions about their heights?
Yeah, don't be scared.
I have one to get it started till we get a mic to somebody. What's the answer to your own question? What was the most stressful point in your life?
The most stressful point in my life, every day. All right, the truthful answer is my sister was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And it's a moment that I share willingly because every single person here has been touched by something like this, right? Where the rug just gets pulled out from underneath you. And at that point in my life, I had a very stable career. I had a stable marriage. Everything was safe. It was fine. It was meh. And when she was diagnosed, I started thinking about my own mortality a lot. And I was like, man, if that had been my diagnosis, I'd be really disappointed with the life that I'd led. And so that month, I quit my job, sold my house, and divorced my husband. It's a lot of stress. And it was the first time in my life that I started to apply the research from my lab to my own life. And I was like, yeah, this isn't just for, papers. This is actually useful. And I had to. But it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I don't mean that as like, oh, I hope you all lose your sisters. Like, it's horrible. It's horrible. That's what I mean, the difference between a stressor and your stress response. Because the stressors, you don't have control over. Those might be terrible. But you can use that energy in a way that propels you into a new direction and a new life. So I'm grateful for it. Great question. Thanks. All right. I know that silences the room. It's okay, y'all. We're okay. Yeah. Somebody had a question.
I was going to ask a question, but now I realize I have to wait.
Oh, ask it. Everybody has that question. Go ahead.
Do they remember faces?
Yes. In fact, that's my research. Yeah, so crows do remember your face. Be nice to them. They are really good at recognizing individual faces, upside down and backwards. You can wear a hat, doesn't matter. Yeah.
She likes birds.
We can have long conversations about this. Department of Defense actually had a phone call with us about our facial recognition technology because crows can wear GPS backpacks and can geolocate. And if they recognize faces, I mean, you put two and two together. Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Now that I've stressed you all out, you're all looking at crows like.
Please don't let that be the only thing you got.
I hope there's other takeaways today. Yeah, please.
Anybody else? Come
Yeah,
on.
go ahead. I told y'all, everybody has questions about crows. Oh my gosh, this is great.
What made you
Study crows?
study crows?
Short version is I fell into it. The longer, more exciting version is that they make excellent models for human behavior. So they eat the same things as we do. They're human commensals. They live in the same neighborhoods as we do. They have families like we do. And they have the same stress response. So same stress hormones. And it's a lot easier to get your hands on crow brains than there is human brains. So I process a lot of crow brains. Yeah.
It's easy. I guess you can tell yourself the different story one time. How do you sustain that and
Such a good question.
keep going with that mindset?
Yeah, such a good question. So what I'll say to this is your brain takes longer to adapt to a new story than your body. So when we're doing this stress inoculation training, and there's a ton of research on this, it's like the body will adapt and it'll start performing before your brain will catch up and go, okay, I'm actually doing better. So your brain is going to lie to yourself even as you're lying to your brain.
So it's a habit for me.
It's a habit. So even as you're going and you're like, this is dumb, this doesn't work, that's okay. You're going to think that. Do it anyway. Practice walking the walk, right? Practice this. You saw, I still do this. It's a continual practice. And the more you show up and the more you're like, okay, I got this, let's go, I'm excited, the more your body and brain will fall into line. Great question. Yeah.
Can you talk about thought stopping?
Thought stopping. Yes.
Because,
Great question.
okay.
You can keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, there was an episode of just incredible, what do you call it, self-talk.
Yeah.
And it was so extreme, consistent, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I had to actually recognize
Whose,
having that thought.
whose voice is that? Yeah, great.
Because that's not what I usually think. Why am I thinking that? So,
Okay, I'm going to address that in two separate ways. One, we're going to talk about self-talk for a second because this is really, really powerful stuff. And as salespeople, like this is one of the most powerful things you can do, but we're probably doing it wrong. So I have two voices in my head. I checked with somebody. There's nobody named Chad, right? If you know and love a Chad, I don't know them personally. This is not an insult to them. I named my negative voice Chad, so I identify them. Please do this for yourself. Create a name for that voice. It separates you from that voice. So that voice is not you, it is some other entity. Pick a name of whoever, doesn't matter, all right? But recognize it. Create some emotional distancing. I also have my best friend voice. And my best friend is like the cheerleader. She is incredible. She's going to see me always at my best. And anytime I hear Chad, I'm like, cool, thank you, Chad. I know you're here to protect me. That's all they're doing, right? That voice is just there to protect you. And then I'm like, what would Jen say about this? And then I listen to Jen for a little bit. So I give them equal time. The thought-stopping piece of this, actually, let me finish that. How you're doing self-talk wrong is this. You're probably going, I'm amazing, I got this, I. Stop. You can lie to yourself like that, and that's fine, but here's a better way to do it. Lie to yourself in the third person. This works so much better, creating that emotional space where it's Jen or somebody else coaching you. Rebecca, you got this. Rebecca, you. Hear that voice, repeat that voice. It's going to be much more effective, right? So that's the voice. But the thought-stopping process is another thing. So when we try and thought stop, we're like listening to this voice and we're like, oh my gosh, why is this voice continuing and I can't get rid of it? And Chad is just going on a tirade here and we panic and it makes it worse, right? Same thing with anxiety. It makes it worse because we're now anxious about the anxiety that we're having. Two things. One, acknowledge it. Don't try and get rid of it, acknowledge it. Hey, I hear you, Chad, thank you. I use gratitude a lot. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that you're concerned, right? The second step, get curious. What are you here to help me to do? What are you here to help me to do? Oh, you're helping me not screw up. Thank you, I hear you. I appreciate that. I spend 3 minutes in what I call a disaster diary, where I literally will set a timer for 3 minutes and I will write out all of the things that are going to go catastrophically wrong. I let Chad just have his time. Because what it does is it moves from the limbic system back here where we're holding our feelings in the center of our brain into the frontal lobe where we actually have cognitive control. And when we force ourselves to write, it moves all of those feelings into cognition, into consciousness. And suddenly we're like, maybe I won't end up dead in a ditch. I don't know about you, but like when I'm catastrophizing, I always end up dead in a ditch somewhere. Like I go to the worst case scenario. So rather than trying to thought stop and push it down, allow it to come out, get it onto the page. And then that voice feels like it has a voice and that you're listening and paying attention. And then you can logic back. I hope that's useful. Also, it's really helpful, one more thing. It's really helpful to have those diaries because then you can look back and go, oh yeah, that didn't happen. Right? Or wow, I thought that was going to be a disaster and look what I learned. So really helpful process. Yes.
Just asking for a friend.
Love it.
You were like, well, not you, but this mythical person was married to somebody that tended to have a little stress. And you wanted to scream, calm down all the time. Like maybe you even had a license plate that said calm down.
I love this.
What could you tell my friend
Yes.
to tell his significant other?
Oh.
You know,
The first thing I would tell your friend, is, call me. Here's the thing. So you heard the talk. This is great. The first thing I would say is you recognizing that they're stressed out is one of the most powerful things you can do. Acknowledging it. Hey, you seem stressed. Are you okay? Getting curious. Don't tell them to calm down. Don't tell anybody ever to calm down. It's the worst thing. Like they're gonna want to kick you in the teeth. Give them a choice, okay? This is one of the most powerful things you can do with anybody stressing out. Do you need an ear or do you need a solution? Do you need an ear or do you need a solution? And guys, I'm not trying to be gender specific here, but most of the time, you all try to give a solution and we just want to be heard. And it creates this right? Are you looking to be heard or are you looking for a solution? And if she says, this is so important, if she says, I need an ear, you shut up. It is truly one of the most difficult things. I know, it really is. No.
How many I knows can you do?
Actually, none. Yeah, I know this is also hard because you're like, yes, you've said this before. This is the cycle that we go through. Yes, it's just. What I'm hearing you say is, so repeat it back to her. What I'm hearing you say, because then she actually feels heard. What I'm hearing you say is, this is a really difficult time because your friend is doing this and that person's saying that, and suddenly you have all this weight. Did I get it right? That's what she's looking for. Good luck to your friend's wife. One more.
I was just going to add to that. I heard someone suggest that you say, tell me more.
Tell me more.
Does that kind of annoying? Like, do people like, shut up, tell you more. Like, shut up.
I mean, I'll tell you, people love to talk about themselves, and I have literally never heard anybody get upset when I say, hey, tell me more about that. Because they're like, really? Yeah. Somebody says to me, like, about crows, tell me more. I'm like, sit down. We're going to have a whole conversation. I think tell me more is a great way to encourage people to give them more. Yeah. I don't know. Try it. If you hear that somebody gets annoyed by it, let me know. I'd be really curious. But tell me more. Yeah. Okay.
All right, one more time for Dr. Rebecca Hyde. So,
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
So, Rebecca, you gonna be?
I'm around. I'm here.